You're not really ready until you're safe. Summer safely and drive calm.
Time to upgrade your adventure with an RV from Motorsportsland. Don't put off making exciting memories and exploring the many outdoor hideaways right here in Utah. Come in today and see how Motorsportsland can help you get away, or visit motorsportsland.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Sources. This is our Next Is Now segment of the program where we try to look ahead to what's going to come next or framing important conversations. And, of course, on a day like today, next and what will soon become now is the verdict being read. It has been reached by the jury, and the verdict in the Derek Chauvin case will be read shortly. We're suspecting that sometime within about the next 40 minutes-ish. So stay tuned with us here at KSL News Radio as we will break that down and continue that conversation. And as we've been talking about throughout the day today, the important thing is that we make sure we get to the right conversations in our communities, in our state, in our country. This particular trial did encapsulate so many of the critical issues of our day, everything from race to police tactics to criminal justice reform to addiction and crime and community and family. There's all of those things that are part of this case. And so really pleased to be joined by our good friend, Janetta Williams, who leads the Salt Lake chapter of the NAACP. Janetta, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, sure. No problem, Boyd. Thank you for having me come on.
One of the things that I always love about our conversations, Janetta, is getting to those real core issues and conversations. And interesting, Representative John Curtis issued a statement about a half hour ago saying, the death of George Floyd sparked a number of critical conversations, but we still haven't had all of those conversations, and we've got to make sure we have those. As you've watched and as you've observed this from your unique position and perspective, kind of walk us through that. What's been going through your mind? What do you hope we talk about, and how do you hope we respond regardless of what comes out of the courtroom today?
I think what's going to be happening and what has happened here in the state of Utah is that the law enforcement has come together more so with the community, and they've also come together with the legislators, and where we were able to work on different police reform bills this past year. Out of 34, we had 21 that was passed, and there's several other ones that we are working on now, including a large number of the police chiefs for the state of Utah, and that is the duty to intervene.
Oh,
so it's been good that folks are talking about race and race relations, talking about diversity and inclusion.
Wonderful. And I want to go back to that. You said I didn't realize the number was quite that high. 21 different bills relating to various components to this were passed in this legislative session? Yes. That
was 34 that was presented. Out of that 34, 21 was passed.
That's great. And you mentioned that so many of those were a combination of the legislature and police and community groups all coming together to get to the right solution.
Yes, that is correct. There were some that, of course, we looked at the Citizens Review Board. Those did not get passed. But then there were a lot of cities saying that they still wanted to implement the Citizens Police Review Boards, although that it didn't pass. So those are a lot of the positive things that happened with police reform bills.
Yeah, so important, and I think it's another area where Utah can be a good model to the country in terms of how we can have these crucial conversations in a way that does lead to good policy and good practices in our communities. So, Janetta, as you look forward, what's next on your horizon? How does this, and obviously this trial, we'll get to a verdict here shortly. There will obviously be reaction and response. I really encourage everyone to choose a response, not just a visceral reaction, regardless of how this goes. But as you look forward, what's What's the next conversation that we should be having?
I think we should continue to have conversations on race and race relations and continue to work with the law enforcement, police departments, and making sure that we're addressing the critical issues and making sure that, we can stop so much of the negative things that are going on when we see, police stopping black and brown folks, and making sure that we can address those issues in a manner that we don't see all of the protests going on. And in this trial, I watched the entire trial, and the prosecutors put on an excellent case, and I'm expecting to see a guilty on this. And so even regardless of whatever the verdict might be, we're asking for the communities to, if they do have a protest, that they do it peacefully, that there's no violence whatsoever, and that, we're just asking for calm in the communities.
Wonderful. Janetta Williams, always appreciate your perspective. And the theme I've been working through today is this idea of the storm before the calm. And we've been through the storm, and let's get to the calm and do that together. Janetta, thanks so much for joining us today.
Exactly. You're welcome, Boyd. Thank you.
Wonderful. If you're just joining us, we are standing by, and we will be going to ABC anchor coverage here shortly on KSL News Radio. We are waiting for the verdict to be read. Again, the verdict has been reached by the jury, and it should be read coming up here in the next 30 minutes or so. We'll continue to eye that very closely here on KSL News Radio. But as we close out this segment, and as we shift our coverage and focus to the verdict in this trial, as Janetta Williams from the Salt Lake chapter of the NAACP said, I love that she ended on that. I've been thinking about this all day, that we need to make sure we keep the calm, that we make sure that we're choosing a response, that we're not just reacting to negative emotions or to the rage-ism. Remember, there's a whole group of people who profit and benefit from rage and anger and fear and frustration and contempt, and we need to reject that because it prevents us from having the conversations we need to have to improve all communities for all people across this country, and that's part of our job. In fact, there's a newly released song by a group that talks about this very idea. The whole idea is the storm before the calm. We always talk about the calm before the storm. I think we should kind of flip that on its head. We'll discuss this tomorrow on the show, so make sure you stay tuned and stay with us throughout that we can get to this idea of, we can get through the storm. We can have great bounceability, but we need to remember something that Craig Lounsborough once said. He said, to fall down is to face the weakness of my humanity, test the mettle of my character, and push the limits of my strength. Falling down will tell me who I am far more clearly than most things I might learn when I'm standing up. So storms reveal who we really are and prepare us for the opportunities and the crucial conversations that we can have in the calm. And that's the challenge for all of us today, is to let's get through the storm because the calm will come. But it won't come by chance. It will come by choice. It will become by how we choose to respond to what happens next. We're going to go ahead and step aside for bottom of the hour news. As I mentioned, when we come back, we will go with wall-to-wall coverage of the Chauvin verdict. It has been reached. It will be read shortly. Stay tuned right here on KSL News Radio.
I'm Dave Cawley, host of the podcast Cold. Our brand new second season focuses on the 1985 disappearance of a woman named Joyce Yost. Hear her voice for the first time. That's Cold Season 2, exclusively on Amazon Music.